What's up, guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm bringing you guys two cannabis stocks that I think are undervalued right now and have a lot of opportunity to grow and get us some really nice returns in the coming years. So let's jump right in. Alright guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date. I try to post new videos every day with, growth stocks or penny stocks or anything that I think will get us really nice returns and help us make more money. I'm trying to bring as much value as I possibly can. There's a link down in the description to my Patreon account. Come join the family over there. I'd love to have you. I did the first 100 patrons for just $1. I'm actually thinking about cutting it down to just the first 50, to show some support to my day one subscribers. We're filling up quick, and I want to say thank you guys for that. You have no idea how much it means to me, seeing the channel grow. Every time I see somebody subscribe or join the Patreon, it's like overwhelming. I had no idea that I would get support like that. So thank you. I love you guys more than anything. When you do come to the Patreon, though, you'll get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 4 different portfolios so you can see exactly what I invest into. And then anytime I buy or sell a stock, up to the second I do it, I send out a notification so you can follow along with that. Anytime I enter a swing trade or I've got a watch list or anything like that. And then I've also got, some team members, over there in the Discord that help me map out charts, and we're going to start doing more TA and stuff like that for our members. So come join it. It's a great community. We'd love to have you. But let's not waste any time, guys. Let's jump in. The cannabis industry is obviously a big market. It's growing at multiples. It's projected to continuously grow at multiples. The U.S. is a super big cannabis industry. Back a few months ago during the whole GameStop thing, when Euphoria and Tilray and all the cannabis stocks were just blowing up, I felt like these are two stocks that kind of got overlooked. Everybody was going with like the Canadian companies, and I think these guys they've got great fundamentals and they've got opportunity to give us really nice returns on their share prices. So I went through a ton of cannabis companies, and these are the two that stuck out to me as being undervalued with a lot of potential. So let's jump in. The first one we're going to take a look at today is ticker symbol CRLBF. This is Cresco Labs. Let's start by going over some revenue, and I want to show you guys how crazy they've been growing. So in 2016, they did $3.2 million in revenue. They did $10.3 million in 2017, $41.3 million in 2018, $124 million in 2019, and in their trailing 12 months, they've done $345 million. Now, they are just about to report earnings on March 25th for full year 2020. The consensus, the projection is $475 million. Which would represent a 269% increase year over year from 2019. That is massive, guys. The way that they're growing their revenue is intense. I love it. Love seeing revenue growth like that. Now, their projected revenue growth, they are going to jump it from $475 million or whatever they end up doing for 2020, all the way up to $808 million in 2021. And then 1.14 billion in 2022, 1.4 billion in 2023, and 1.6 billion in 2024, which that puts their forward rev growth at like 165%, which is insane. So very, very good revenue, growth there. They're capitalizing, they're making acquisitions, they're trying to expand, and I really like that. Their gross profit, they actually had a negative gross profit in 2016 of 4.2 million negative. Then they went to 1.2 million in 2017. Now listen to this. 2018, they went from 1.2 million in 2017 to 40.4 million in 2018, which is huge. Then they went to 65 million in 2019. They jumped it all the way up to 212 million in their trailing 12 months. So looking really nice there. Their revenues or their gross profit is growing at 61% in their trailing 12 months. Huge. I love seeing top line growth like that. And I believe the consensus for gross profit growth is 69% over the course of the next year. Now, These guys are really trying to focus on their wholesale distribution network, which I like. I do like that. They've got 9 total markets, I believe, and 6 out of the 9 have like a $1 billion annualized run rate, which is huge. If they can get all of them doing $1 billion annually, huge. Now, they just bought Bluma Wellness back in January. I liked that. That's a really nice catalyst because it's going to give them access to the Florida market. I mean, they did spend $213 million on them, which I honestly thought was a really good deal. But Bluma Wellness actually had the second highest flower sales in the state of Florida. So obviously people really like their product down there in Florida. I think Florida is really crucial to the cannabis industry. As we grow and as we open up states and become more legalized and things like that, you want to be in as many of those key states as possible so that you have the best opportunity for growing your revenue. Now, with the merger, with the acquisition of Bluma Wellness, they will have 27 stores combined. They've got 44 different stores planned, and they've got 17 production sites. Now, their total addressable market is 118 million people, which is like 73% of their addressable market, which is obviously a huge percentage of that market that they're total addressable, what they're in. Now, let's kind of take a look at the chart because I want to kind of give you my price target as well. So you can see here, back in March 2020, COVID came, beat them down pretty bad. Honestly, clear back since April of 2019, they were at a high of around 1350 and just got beat down all the way till, COVID. And then look at this growth, just boom, clear up and touched a high of like 1756, something like that. Let's see here. 1749. So, if you look at ever since COVID, just boom, straight up pretty much, so they got ran up as well. They have been selling off a little bit, here in the last few weeks, just like all of the other, growth stocks out there. This is a growth stock. It's on the OTC market. It's going to be very volatile. They do have good fundamentals. They're not quite profitable yet. They're not making money, but they're on the road there. I just really like their growth. I really like their revenue. I like their gross profit. And I think that their stock right now is undervalued. Right now it's sitting at $13.79. Okay. With that being said, it puts their, it's trading at like 8 times their annualized sales. A lot of their competitors are trading like 12 times. Some of them are trading 15 times, 17 times. Pretty much if they can grow at 69% top line for gross profit over the next year or so, like if they can get there, if they can grow 69% of their gross profit through 2022 or around there 60%, I would put a price target on the stock at around $23 to $24. Okay, that would put them at just under 12 times annualized sales. So in my opinion, that would put them at a fair market value or a fair market price. And I believe that they can maintain at least 20% compounded annual growth rate overall over the next 5 years. So do I think it'll get to $24 tomorrow or, in the next month? No, not at all. But I do think within the next year to, 12 to 18 to 24 months, you could see it up there around the $24 mark. I mean, just to get back up to, previous highs, if we look here, you're looking at, 27% to get up to the $24 mark. You're looking at around 75% growth. Again, guys, that's why I chose this. I think they've got nice growth. I think they've got a price target of up there around $24. It's going to take them some time to get there, but if the cannabis industry continues to grow like it's been growing, we could see them get there, relatively quickly. I feel like the last year has kind of given people this expectation that stocks run, like that in a month or two. where it typically doesn't work like that. So if you get into a company like this and you be patient, you can handle the stomach churning volatility of it, you can make some really nice returns. Obviously, there's risk. This is these cannabis companies, it's fiercely competitive. They lose a ton of money. There's so much regulation, so it's going to be risky. But with that being said, this $13 mark right here looks really nice. Came down. It's just, it did find a little bit of support at the 50-day moving average. It's just getting up, starting to break over the 20-day moving average. I would probably wait until it closes above that. But as you can see here on our MACD, it's starting to curl back up towards the upside. Getting in right now isn't too bad of a deal. You can see here how it's used that 20-day moving average as a few times as support, broke through it right here, and then quickly came above it. Same thing here, broke above it. I think this was more market conditions right here than anything, and I think that they will start to make their way back up to the upside once this market starts to turn around. So go check these guys out. I think that they've got a lot of opportunity. Put it on your watch list, and let me know down in the comments what you think about it. Next one we're going to take a look at is Curaleaf Holdings. The ticker symbol is CURLF. This is a really good company as well. They've got an $11 billion market cap, where Cresco's only got a $6 billion market cap. They are an OTC stock as well, so you can't buy this on Webull or Robinhood. In most of the markets, these guys grow their own cannabis and then they sell it in their own dispensaries. They're also a leading wholesaler of cannabis in almost all of the markets that they're in. Their revenue, let's start with that. They did $3.7 million in 2016, $19.3 million in 2017, $77 million in 2018, $220 million in 2019. Then they jumped that to $626 million in 2020, which was 183% year over year. That is huge. This is what I like though. They are projected to do $1.25 billion in 2021, which is another 100% year over year growth. Then they're going to do $1.83 billion in 2022, $2.2 billion in 2023, $2.79 billion in 2024, and then jump it up to $3 billion in 2025, and then $4.2 billion in 2035 years later. Their gross profit for their trailing 12 months looking really nice, 62% in their trailing 12 months. In 2016, they did $3.7 million on their gross profit, I'm pretty sure. Then they did $15.6 million in 2017, $46.3 million in 2018, $141 million in 2019, and then $390 million in 2020. Looks really nice. Their EBITDA margins are reaching upwards of like 23%, but they are actually targeted to try to hit 30% by 2021 or in 2021, which would be fantastic. This year, they have opened 5 new stores in the state of Florida, Pennsylvania, Maine, and at the start of actually that was in 2019, sorry. At the start of 2020, they had only had 54 dispensaries across 17 different U.S. states. Now they've got 101 different stores in 23 different states. So they're growing. They're expanding their footprint. They've got a grasp on the market. They're making big revenue jumps. They're growing their gross profit. These guys are also, in my opinion, a little undervalued. They also entered the European market with a $286 million acquisition of EMAC Life Sciences. I believe their ticker symbol was, no. EMAC didn't trade, sorry. So they bought EMAC for $286 million. They're pretty much claiming that EMAC has the largest independent cannabis company in Europe, or is the largest independent cannabis company in Europe. The European medical cannabis or industry or market, whatever you want to call it, is very similar to the U.S. market in the sense that it's projected that it will explode. It'll grow by multiples in the coming years. I think the U.S. is obviously a bigger market, but there's a big difference between Europe and America. In America, we've got very tight borders. You cannot grow cannabis in one state and ship it to another state if you've got a dispensary there. So if you've got a dispensary in Florida and you've got a dispensary in Washington or wherever, you have to have 2 different production facilities right there. You can't ship it out like you can in Europe. There's not so much boundaries. So the European market, they've got some opportunity to really grow and do very well over there. What's funny is their 2021 revenue target, or their 2020, either their 2021 and their 2022 revenue targets of $2 billion in 2022, they don't even have EMAC factored into that. So this acquisition isn't even put into their projected revenue growth, which is great. Obviously, this acquisition is going to drive more revenue. So let's take a look at the chart. Let's go to a daily. So very similar type chart, very similar. You can see here, COVID came, boom, they got beat down. Pre-COVID, they were at 7, but same thing, since 2019, they were up there around 7 or $12, $13, got beat down all the way until COVID, and then just came right out of it. Came right out, boom, sold off a little bit. This was back in September when we had that little correction. And ever since then, just been growing like crazy. You can see same thing, using the 20-day moving average as support. Came clear up and touched a high of, 1838. And then has since then kind of gotten beat down like all the other stocks, and is currently sitting at $16.10, currently using the 20-day moving average as support. I do think that you'll see very similar type stuff. Comes down, hits the 20-day moving averages, pops up, comes back, pops up. So when you're buying a stock like this, you want to buy it as close to that line as you possibly can. You want to buy it as close to that trend line as humanly possible. You don't want to buy it up here, excuse me, on this trend line. That's very sloppy, but you don't want to buy it up here. You want to buy it down here. It's gonna, it'll hit, pop up, boom, boom, boom. So every time it comes down and touches close to the support line, you want to buy, you want to enter there. I do think that this stock is undervalued as well, and I'll kind of give you my price target for these guys, just like I did the other one. So right now, this stock is currently trading at about 17 times its trailing revenue. And then if you look at their 2021 projected revenue, the stock trades at about 8.5 times their projected rev for 2021. Now, the stock is sitting at $16.10. I would put a price target on it of $30 to $31. If you do that and you take the projected revenue moving forward, that would put putting them trading at more of a fair market value as time goes on, and as they grow their revenue. So again, same type of idea where it's going to take time. It's not going to get there overnight. You probably wouldn't see that price target until, like I said, 12, 18, 24 months. But I do think this stock has a very nice opportunity to get there. These are some of my favorite stocks in the cannabis industry as of right now. I do not own either of them. I have not bought either of them. I had somebody ask me in the Discord, my thought on cannabis companies. I said, you know what, I'm gonna look into it. So I started jumping in and looking at a ton of companies, and these are the 2 that I found that I thought had the most opportunity to not only get back up to the upside, but also have a nice price target moving forward. If you look at my my price target compared to where it's at right now, you'd be looking at around 100% upside, which is huge. If you get a 100% upside over the course of the next year, 2 years, 3 years, I would love that. I would take that any day of the week. Again, OTC stock, going to be very volatile, but if you can handle that, go do your research, check these companies out, add them to your watch list. I think they'll do well. Put down in the comments what you guys think about these stocks. If you guys have any price targets on these, I'd love to hear them. That's it for today, guys. I wanted to keep the video as short as possible. I know I get long-winded sometimes, but again, thank you all so much for subscribing. You have no idea how much it means to me. I love you all more than anything. Come join us at the Patreon. Last thing, this video was for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence. But that's it. I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Peace.